New details tonight in the brutal stabbing of a 68-year-old Arlington mother. On Friday, police arrested Gail Clark's adult son, who lived in her Sesame Boulevard home, on charges unrelated to her death. Police reports were redacted and contained little information about this incident. But an unredacted version obtained by First Coast News says Brian Dixon told police he found his mother dead in her driveway with multiple stab wounds. Dixon told police he left the home at 1 in the morning and returned shortly after 10 that same morning to find his mother dead. According to the report, Dixon agreed to let police search his locked room, then appeared to hide something in a dresser drawer. After obtaining a search warrant, police allegedly found drugs and weapons which Dixon could not possess as a convicted felon. No suspects have been linked or named yet in the killing of Gail Clark.